Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of the Late Brunch Show with Taquira Peoples. I'm your host, Taquira Peoples, obviously, which I've been really weird. Welcome to the first episode. I am so excited. Let's talk about the name real quick. The Late Brunch Show with Taquira Peoples. You're probably like, Taquira, how did your big brain think of this? I'm like, besties, listen. It was not that hard because I love late night talk shows names. Like the late night talk show with Jimmy. Jimmy, don't ask me which Jimmy, but there's a Jimmy. Or I think James Corden is actually the late night show with James Corden. Something like that. Something like that. But I always just love how it's always like the late night or something like that. So I was like, you know what? Let's do the late brunch show with Taquira Peoples. And that's what we're doing today. On the topic of Taquira Peoples, me, let's talk about me. I'm not gonna say my name again. You know my name by now. If you've listened this far, you know my name. I'm 21 years old. I am a woman, a girly, and I don't know what I'm doing in my life. To be quite honest, I feel like as a 21-year-old, that really it's not that I don't have anything going for me, but I don't have anything going for me, if that makes sense. I am a proud dog mom. Moon, come here. I have a dog. He's over here. If you hear walking around, this is my dog. I'm a dog mom to a Cavapoo whose name is Moon. He's 1 year old. He's literally the love of my life. I love him so much. Yeah, what else can I say about me? I graduated in 2019. How do you talk about yourself? Like, when people say, like, when you're in an interview and they're like, oh, like, what makes you you? And you're like, my blood, my skin, what makes me me? I would have to say my charismatic self. I think I'm funny. That's something. Y'all can figure this out real freaking quick. I think I'm the funniest person ever, and I am. I'm hilarious. I make myself laugh so much, which is why I was like, I need to have a podcast where I just talk so other people can be like, oh my gosh, she is funny. It's not just me telling myself that, because I do tell myself that quite often, that I'm a very funny person. Probably take her, why are you starting a podcast? I love talking. I love talking about literally everything and anything. I love talking about my celebrity crushes. I love talking about my mental health, my health problems. Which, speaking of health, I have cystic fibrosis, which is actually I'm going to be talking about on my podcast coming out next Wednesday. Also, I'm sweating. My room's like sweating in here. Also, this is not the forever set I have in my head. I have a whole plan of what I want my set to look like. It's just gonna take a little while. I'm literally working with nothing besides an iPhone. That's all we have going for us right now. But one day, right now, I'm saying right now, I will have a studio, and yeah, I'll have a studio and I have a really cute set, and I will be friends with Shawn Mendes. I will be friends with him. Don't even question it. I will be friends with Shawn Mendes. Actually, no, I don't want to be friends with Shawn Mendes. We'll talk about Shawn Mendes, Nick Jonas, and Jack Harlow in a second. But we're talking about me. This is about me, not him. Anyways, another fact about me is that I want to go on the Titanic. I know you're thinking, here, the Titanic tragically, you know the tragedy of that. I'm talking about the new Titanic. There's something about the Titanic, the second one, where I'm just like, I deserve to be on that boat. I deserve to go on the second Titanic. Don't ask me why. I should be their first guest on that list. Leonardo DiCaprio? No, he's not. I should be the first one. They should be calling my phone at any minute, being like, Taquira, come on, sweetie. We need you. And I'm like, I'm coming. Let me pack my bag to Giorgio. Yeah, some more things about me. I'm an aunt. I love being an aunt. I've literally been an aunt since the day I've been born. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. And I'm a middle child, so they're basically, I only have one little sister, and the rest of my siblings are older than me. So when I was born, like, some of them are like step, half. I only have like one full blood sister. But I count all my siblings as my sibling. I'm not like, you know what I mean. If you have half or step siblings, you know what I mean. I count them as my actual. Calm down. Bless you. Bless you. You okay? Yeah. So I have a lot of nieces and nephews. The ones I see most are my two littlest nephews, Miles, Liam, and my niece Marin. And Phoebe and Blake. And yeah, we actually just had my nephew Liam the past couple of days. This past weekend, which was really cool. I love hanging out with him. He's 4. Like, it's so weird. Like, kids grow up fast. And we will talk about this as well, but it's crazy. I remember when I was little, like, time went by so slow. I was like, oh my God, you're growing up so fast. I'm like, I'm not. I might be tall, but the time's going by fast. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, the fact that my nephew is now 4, I remember when he was just born. Like, I was like, you were like a newborn like a week ago, and now you're 4 and playing t-ball. Why did you do that? Who told you you can grow up? Because I didn't say, Liam, go ahead, grow up. No, he did it on his own. So that's very disrespectful on his behalf. And I will be waiting for his apology when he's older. I'm like literally sweating. No, I don't sweat, I sparkle. Speaking of sparkle, growing up, one of my favorite TV shows, which would be guys, listen, on my phone, I have a list of podcast titles that I am so very stoked to talk about. Next episode, like I said, is going to be about cystic fibrosis. If I said that, I don't know if I did or not. But I think it is episode number 8 that I plan on filming. Is actually going to be about like Disney Channel and like my favorite Disney Channel shows. I'm so excited about that episode because like there's so much I want to say. But we have to wait until we get to episode 8, and I hope everyone wants that episode because I have a lot planned for that. By that I mean just me talking. Don't be expecting me to pull strings against Selena Gomez or Zendaya, because if I could, I would. If I could, I would, but I can't. I can't. So don't even think about it. Don't even, if it's in your head, lose that thought. Lose that thought. Also, y'all hear that motorcycle? Disrespect. They know I'm talking, so they should not be doing that. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can also listen to the audio versions over on Spotify, I believe Apple Music, anywhere where you can listen to podcasts as well, and I'm super excited. You can also go follow me over on Instagram at Taquira Peoples. My TikTok is Taquira.Shakira. It's a play on play words. I grew up, people always says Shakira, and I was like, that's not my name. Anyways, yeah. You guys can go follow me over on the social media platforms. We can really get to know each other more. I get to know you guys more. Ask me questions. If you have things you want me to talk about, I can definitely talk about them. I'm just excited to see where this is going to go. Yeah, I have a lot to say about things. I'm a very talkative person, even though I do ramble a lot, which is why I plan on doing like 10-minute segments on each topic, so my ADHD does not take over this entire podcast. So I was going to talk about myself for a little bit longer, so it's been 10 minutes, and then we're going to talk about Nick Jonas, Shawn Mendes, and my love for Jack Harlow. Yeah. Also, I'm not a singer, so don't even... I know you heard me and you're like, Taquira, you should become a singer. Don't think like that, silly. Yeah. That's basically me. There's not a lot to me. Like, I don't got... Like, I got stuff to say, but I don't got a lot much to say. Okay. Another thing that you guys need to know, and this is like a must, like everybody that knows me knows these things, and I think since this is a podcast where we're going to be talking a lot with each other, is that my love for Nick Jonas and Jack Harlow, yes, they are on different levels. let's talk about Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas has been my childhood celebrity crush since I was 7 or 8 years old, and my love for him has never gone away. Never once. And yes, I do gatekeep him from my sisters. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. My two sisters, Maisha and Nia. Maisha is my older sister, and Nia is my younger sister. And growing up, we would watch Disney Channel every night. There was an episode when they were on Hannah Montana, and I was like, Nick. And Maisha was like, Joe. And Nia was like, Joe. And Maisha and Nia were like, y'all gotta, I was like, they gotta battle it out. And Nia got stuck with Kevin, and Maisha was stuck with Joe because Maisha's older, Nia's younger, sucked to be her, basically. And I was stuck with Nick because I have the most superior taste in them. Then men, I said, you get what I mean. And my older sister recently was like, Nick Jonas is cute. And I was like, you better never say that again in my presence. You better never even say that again, ever. Not even when no. We made a pact when we were like 9, yeah, that Nick was mine, yours was Joe, Nia's was Kevin. But we're still in that pact. We're sisters. We don't break pacts. And you do not switch lanes like that. There's 3 brothers. There's 3 of us. There's no need for you just to swerve over in my lane and Nick's lane. There's no need for it. There's no, you can merge over into this lane. So stay in Joe lane. Thank you, Joe lane. That's funny. That's a knee slapper if I ever heard one before in my life. Anyways, with that being said, my love for Nick is like a childhood level that if I ever met him, I would obviously cry. Right. I would cry. I would have to sit there and be like, what now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what could I possibly say to him other than nothing? Because, like, nothing just came to my mind right there. Like, literally nothing. Like the thought of meeting Nick Jonas sounds terrifying to me, but yet not as terrifying as meeting Shawn Mendes. Okay? Like, I would be like, if I were in a restaurant, or not a restaurant. Let's say if I was walking downtown and I seen LA. If I was walking downtown and I saw Nick, if I was walking downtown in LA and I saw Nick, that makes more sense. Because where I live in a small town in Pennsylvania. Nick is not going to be here. So if I'm walking in LA and I run into Nick, I would be like, oh, you're Nick. I'm a big fan. I'm freaking out. I'm probably crying, probably sweating, probably throwing up as well. Can I get a picture? He's gonna be like, you're disgusting, but sure. It'd be me crying, throwing up in a picture with Nick Jonas. With that being said, though, if I ever met Shawn Mendes, I never want the opportunity to meet him. I don't even want to be in the same room as him. I don't even want to be in the same room as him where we're sharing the same oxygen. We shouldn't even be in the same area as each other, because that just sounds terrifying. Like, I fell in love with Shawn Mendes when I was 12 years old in middle school, and obviously through Matt Con and Vine, which we will be talking about in a later podcast episode. And I remember literally, like, Shawn Mendes is like my version of a Harry Styles, basically, I have to say. Obviously, I'm not comparing them, I'm just saying, like, how older fans view Harry is how I view Shawn. Like, Shawn got me through so much stuff that, like, if I ever met him, the anxiety, like, the amount of anxiety I just felt thinking about that, like, that sounds terrifying. Like, I would run, like, my fight or flight would kick in and I would run for the hills. I'd be like, no, Shawn, like, I can't, like, oh my, ew, like, literally, ew. Like, I don't know how I would act. I would just cry. Like, I would cry. I would have a stroke. I have to be admitted into the hospital. I would have to go through surgery to get my heart pumping again, because I simply cannot meet Shawn Mendes. I love him so much. It's so funny because he's actually coming to Pittsburgh in July, and that's kind of, I live near Pittsburgh in a way. And I was like, Mom, like, we should go to his concert, because I love my mom, and my mom did tell me that she thinks that Shawn Mendes is the reason why I am single. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. But I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? And then I was also talking to my coworker. I was like, the more I think about it, if I went to a Shawn Mendes concert and I just saw him, I would pass out. Like, I would literally have an anxiety attack and pass out, because like I'd be in the same room as him. And it's so funny because like in high school, I'm gonna marry him, I'm gonna date him, but like deep down, like obviously, like I know I'm never gonna marry Shawn. I'm never gonna meet him. Like, none of that, which is totally fine by me. But like, it's just crazy because like I feel like he's like my older brother. Like, you know what I mean? I view him as like my older brother, as a guy best friend. No, I view Jack Harlow as a guy best friend. Shawn Mendes like the older brother that like, not that I didn't have, because I do have brothers, but like he's just like that. It's like, wow, like I just watched him grow up and now he's doing all this amazing things. Like, I remember when Life of the Party dropped and I was like sobbing. I was like, he is gonna like be a star. That's actually how I cried. Yeah, that's just my love for Shawn Mendes. It's something we need to know because I probably will be talking about him a lot, as well as Nick Jonas. But let's talk about my man, Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow. Jack is a newer crush of mine from this year. No, from last year. Last year coming into this year. That I just love Jack Harlow, man. So does all the other girlies. Like, I love Jack. I feel like Jack and I would be such good friends. I don't want to date Jack. I don't want to with Jack. I just want to be friends with Jack. Because I think Jack and I, we could have some of the most funniest conversations. And just giggle. Like, I just want to giggle with Jack Harlow. Because that's the Jack that I want to know. The giggly bitch. The giggly Jack. I don't want to swear on this podcast. I'm going to try my best not to swear. But I would love to get to know the giggly Jack Harlow. Because I think we would have a lot of giggles together. A lot of chuckles. A lot of hurrahs together. Like, Jack and I, we would throw a banger party. I just want to be friends with Jack Harlow. I love Jack so much. I love his music. His album dropped. I think it's like, what is it called? Come Home, the Kids Miss You. I will tell you guys my favorite songs off this album because he has some bops that I feel like need more attention. Yeah, Come Home, the Kids Miss You. One of my favorite songs off this album is Little Secret. That song makes me feel some type of way. Don't ask me why. It just does. Parent Trap featuring Justin Timberlake. Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss. Love that song. Young Harlezy. Yeah. If you just listen to it, y'all would understand where my love for him comes from. You'll be like, I get it. I get it, Taquira Peoples. I get why you love that song. Because it's so good. Those are my top 3 songs I recommend listening off the album. Yes, he has a song called Dua Lipa. Am I jealous of Dua Lipa? Yeah. Yes, I am. You say yes, I am. Hey, that just made me think of one of his lyrics. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, I love Nick Jonas, Shawn Mendes, and Jack Harlow. Those are my boys. I also have a tattoo that says LA. I kind of want to get it removed. But yeah, those are my boys. The boys. That I carry in my heart very deeply. Love these boys. Never want to meet Shawn or Nick. Would love to meet Jack. Because I think Jack and I would be good friends. We would have... I feel like we would have just some of the best giggles. He'd be a flirty little bitch, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, don't do that. Dude, Jack, shut the fuck up. I swore again. I'm so sorry. I need to throw that key somewhere else. Yeah. I just love the boys. I love my boys. The next topic I want to talk about is having hobbies in your 20s. I have even struggled having hobbies just growing up in life. One of my hobbies I've always felt weird saying was like making videos or doing social media, because I think that is a hobby. Like, I love talking to a camera. If you guys follow me over on TikTok, if you're from TikTok, hey guys, welcome. Love y'all. No, but I truly do love social media. I've been making YouTube videos since I was in 7th grade. My first ever YouTube video I posted was with one of my best friends, Morgan, when we were literally kids. Like, we were like babies. Like, we were in middle school. Like, we just look like babies. We sound like little babies. And it's so crazy looking back on that video and being like, what the frick happened? Like, we are like adults now. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I would have to say, like, one of my hobbies, obviously, like I just said, is creating content. I love being in front of a camera. I love talking to a camera. And it's so funny when people ask me, oh, like, do you have any hobbies? I feel weird saying, like, oh, like, I love doing social media. Like, I would say, like, creating content, making videos, making TikToks, a podcast, like this podcast I'm doing. Like I love just creating content online. And for some reason, telling someone that, it's so embarrassing to me, which it's so weird because, like, content creation has just blown up over the past couple of years, especially from TikTok. So round of applause to TikTok for really, like, making influencers and, like, creating content not weird to do. But obviously some people say, well, YouTube did it first. YouTube did do it first with, you know, like, you know what, I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that one of my hobbies is creating content. But another thing is that people are like, oh, if I do tell someone, like, oh, like what else do you like doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think I've done a lot of hobbies. Like, I've tried photography. I've tried, you know, makeup. I've, like, you know, like, by hobbies like makeup, I mean, it's like doing random makeup styles, which we'll talk about my love for makeup and why I had to kind of just stop using makeup altogether. We'll talk about that in another podcast, but episode. But I think just finding a hobby out of creating content, and that's like a hobby that sounds like, oh, like how adults play like football or soccer or volleyball or softball. I want a hobby like that, but then I'm like, I have social anxiety. And that sounds really freaking scary, because I feel like the people who are already in that hobby are friends, and you just, like, walk up in there, like, hey, can I be friends with y'all? And they're like, why are you here? Like, why are you even here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. And I want to know if anyone's listening, do you guys have hobbies that you do with, like, do you have hobbies? Like, what are your hobbies? Like, I always feel so uncomfortable when people say, like, what do you do in your free time? And I'm like, I always just say nothing, because I don't do much. Like I said, I literally just go on TikTok. I post videos on TikTok. I like taking Instagram pictures. And, like, saying that, I feel like people are like, that's not what I meant. And so I'm like, oh, like, I like hanging out with, like, my mom, my sisters, my nephews, my friends, go shopping, go out to eat. But that's not a hobby. That's just free time stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah. I just wanted to talk about hobbies. I think it's so hard also to know what you should be doing in your 20s. Because that's the thing, like, I'm like, should I be in a hobby? Should I be in a hobby, like, join, like, a team, like, an adult's team? Like, what should I be doing as a 21-year-old that other 21-year-olds are doing? Because, like, I watch a YouTuber, her name is Haley Pham. She's recently doing a series on her YouTube channel where it's, like, being alone in her 20s or figuring out her 20s. I watched that and I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm struggling. But, like, she reads books and I don't read books. I have a very hard time reading books. I have very bad trauma from school, from reading books. From elementary school, middle school, high school. Even reading to, like, my nephews, I get anxiety even though they're literally just 3 and 2. 4 and 2. I'm so sorry, Liam. You're 4. You're 4 years old. Also, I'm pretty sure he's smarter than me. Definitely smarter than me. He also has a hobby. He plays t-ball, so he's definitely doing something better than me. Definitely doing something better than me. He also, when he was here, he found, like, a penny on my bedroom floor. And he was like, now I have more money than you. And I was like, you don't gotta brag. You do not need to brag about that, sweetie. Yeah, that's all I really had. That was, like, literally, how many minutes was that? That was a 4-minute topic about that. I was hoping to talk about hobbies for 10 minutes, but I I really have nothing to say about it other than the fact that, like, I don't know if I should find a hobby. Like, how do you find a hobby that you enjoy doing? Because I enjoy doing a lot of things, but once I keep doing something over and over and over again, besides creating content online, I get bored of things. Besides, like I just said, creating content is the only thing that I've never gotten bored of my entire life. So it's really hard for me to, like, oh, like, let me go paint. Because I did painting in 2020 during Rona. You know who she is. And I picked up painting, and it was really fun for a week, and then I got over it. Yeah, so anybody have any hobbies that they're doing? Let me know. What are some new hobbies? What are some cool hobbies? Some fun hobbies? Any hobby besides reading? Any hobby besides reading, please. Yeah, what else can we talk about right now? Because I have nothing in my head. This is not going well. Speaking of some of my favorite YouTube channels, let's talk about them. I also really enjoy Smosh. I know you think Taquira Smosh was like so years ago, but I really just, I literally just fall down rabbit holes of Smosh content sometimes. Or I do, and I love a good true crime podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Bailey Sarian, Haley Elizabeth's podcast. I love their videos, even online, like their murder mystery videos. I live for them. I also, there's a YouTube channel called Infographic Show where they just post random things. Like, what would have happened if the world ended right now? What would happen? And they would tell me, and I'm like, oh, I know how to survive. What would happen if a zombie apocalypse happened? I know how to survive because I watched a video. Or like, they talk about like North Korea or like World War II. There's like stuff like that, and I eat that shit up. I love history. History was my favorite topic in school, even though I failed most of my... Here's the thing. When I would take a test in high school, I would get so anxious that, like, I was already going to fail. So I was like, what's the point of me even trying if I'm just going to fail anyways? But when I look at the tick, I could study all I want, but the minute that paper is in front of me and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know any of this. This is rigged. Like, it just slipped my mind. Like, it would slip my mind. But I do, in fact, love history. I mean, the thing is, like, I would listen to my history teacher talk because I would actually be engaged in it. But I just... Tests aren't my thing. School wasn't my thing. But stay in school, get your education, and learn a thing or two. But yeah, I love history. I also love watching documentaries. The last documentary I watched was actually about this, like, wolf family. It was on Disney Plus. I think it was, like, called Kingdom Wolves, about these wolves that never had to experience human existence. They never even heard a gunshot. So when they saw this guy, I forget his name, in their area, they weren't, like, their instinct wasn't to run. It wasn't to kill. They were just like, yo, what is this dude? Who is this dude? Do we know him? Like, you know what I mean? And one of the packs actually let him kind of, like, near them, and it was just a really heartfelt, emotional documentary. I cried. My dog was howling at the screen, and I was like, we're never watching a dog wolf documentary again if you're gonna act like this. If you're gonna act like a dog, watch another dog. We're not doing this. I'm trying to learn. I'm kidding, no. But yeah, because, like, wolves in Yellowstone, like, they're already outran. Like, they're outrun. Like, they're not in, like, their populated spot they're supposed to be because, like, they were either killed or hunted, which is something that's killed. Or, you know, they were scared out of their habitat by people. And, you know, when they see people, their only instinct is either to run or to kill. But these wolves were just curious. They were just like, who are you? What are you doing in my swamp? That's a Shrek reference. I never thought that I would ever quote Shrek on my podcast. But yeah, here we are. Okay, the last section of the podcast. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is my goal for the podcast and what I have planned for the podcast and what I hope one day my podcast looks like. Right now, I'm in my bedroom. What day is today? The day I am filming this, it is, in fact, what day is it? Why is my phone being silly? It is June 15th, 2022. This podcast will be up June 22nd, 2022. In a year from now, I hope to have an audience watching. I hope to have a set, microphones, a computer. Maybe even have some guests come on, like, like my sisters, maybe some friends, maybe my mom, my mommy girl. I hope to work with brands, obviously, that'd be really cool. That'd be so cool. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. A dream, what are my ultimate dream goals to ever work with? Not just in a podcast, but hopefully, I'm hoping this podcast goes somewhere bigger than just like a podcast. Like, I hope from this that like I get out there and I do things outside of just podcast. Talking like to branch off one day. If I could, I would love to do modeling. Modeling is something I've always wanted to do, which is a topic I also want to talk about. Maybe acting one day. I think that'd be super cool and super chill. But let's take the podcast. A brand that I would love to work with would probably be HelloFresh, because I actually do use HelloFresh. Like, this is not sponsored. Oh my god, it's not so sponsored. No, but I truly love HelloFresh. Their food's amazing. If I could work with any makeup brand, it would have to be Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. Oh my god, imagine imagine a podcast doing my makeup, interviewing Selena Gomez while we're doing our makeup together using Rare Beauty. Oh my god, I would literally freak out. I love Selena Gomez so much. Who's a male that I would love to like chit chat with besides Jack Harlow, obviously? I would love to sit down with, who's a good person? I'm like really trying to think. I want someone who I could like actually like we could like have a good conversation with. You know who I love? Sounds so funny, but there's a late night talk host. His name is Seth Meyers. I love his show. I would love to talk with him. He did a day drinking with Rihanna a couple years ago. He recently just did one with Post Malone. He did one with the Jonas Brothers. I don't know if he did one with anybody else. I know yeah. That's all I want to say, because I don't know if he did anyone with anybody else. But I would love to do a podcast with him. Or Pete Davidson. No, Pete Davidson, I think I'd be too scared of Pete. Pete would scare me. Seth Meyers. And Andy Sandberg. Oh my god. That'd be iconic. No, The Lonely Island. Seth, I'm so sorry. You need to get pushed aside. The Lonely Island. That would be iconic. And also have like Seth Rogen there. Dude, I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind. Iconic. I love them so much. Yeah. Those are some people I would love to interview. Put Seth back on the put Seth back on the list of people I would love to interview. I don't know what we would talk about, but hopefully by then my skills of podcasting would be better. And I also hope by podcasting it puts me out of my shell more. I'm a very believe it or not, I love talking. I love just bringing up random topics, talk about things I love. Obviously, that's why I'm doing a podcast. But when it comes to like talking to people, I become very secluded. I don't like talking to people. I'm not one to just go out and be like, hey everyone, it's me, I'm here. Believe it or not, I'm not like that. I'm very shy. I'm very stuck to myself. I only like go out a few, maybe once or twice a year with friends. I'm always with my mom or my little sister or my other sister or my nephews or nieces, whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping this like helps me like make friends, puts me out of my comfort zone. And it's so funny because like people watch my TikTok sometimes and like you're really like shy. Like on TikTok you're always talking about yourself and like other things that's happening in your life. Like when people like at my work are always like, you're so quiet, like what do you think about all day? I'm just like, usually like Jack Harlow. Like Jack Harlow's the number one thing that I think about a lot at work. Because I play his songs. Same with Shawn Mendes. Shawn plays it quite often. So I think I'm Nick Jones, Shawn Mendes, and Jack Harlow at work. That is what I am thinking about at work. And if you're a coworker listening, that is what I think about at work 24/7. Yeah. And sometimes when I'm at work and I'm getting really freaking bored, I work, I'm not going to say where I work. I pretend I'm on a game show and see how many items of clothing I can get priced within an hour. Usually it's like 50 and it's supposed to be more. But then after that 2-hour mark, I'm at 100. Yes, I'm hoping this just, pushes me out of my comfort zone. Like I said, hopefully this brings new opportunities for me. I'm really excited. I wanted to start a podcast for so long. That's the thing. And I've always just been like, well, I'm kind of boring. But I was like, I love talking. Like on TikTok, I'm very just like, hey guys, like hello my beautiful peeps. It's me, Taquira. Welcome back. I'm talking. I just love sharing things about my life and everything. And so I was like, maybe this could be something. Maybe this could go somewhere. We'll see. But yeah, I'm super excited. What else do I want from my podcast goals? I would love to like travel to Paris and like do like a taste test of Paris food, like a podcast taste test of Paris food. Yeah, in Paris. That'd be very cool. Picture like flying on an airplane podcast, a camping podcast. Oh, that'd be so cool. Oh my god, I would love that. I want to go to Yellowstone so bad. Like, it's not even a joke. Oh my god, a podcast in Yellowstone camping. Ah, I need it. I want it. I don't got it. I am not Ariana Grande. If you thought I was Ariana Grande for a second, you're blind. You need help. You're weird, dude. Thank you though, but that's an insult to her. Yeah, I just want to travel. I just want to do podcasting while traveling. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I'm just really excited about this. Like I said, this is like I want to do for a very long time. I've just always been scared to do it because I don't like failing at things, and sometimes I stop myself from doing certain things because I'm like, I'm not going to do good at that, or I'm just going to fail, or that'd be so stupid to put time and effort into something where I just don't believe in myself. But this time I'm actually believing in myself. I'm excited about the topics I have coming up. Let's give you guys a sneak peek of some of the topics. I'm not going to tell you guys which episodes are which. You guys going to have to come back and listen. I have 9 episodes. I have 10 episodes already planned, but this is one of the episodes, so 9. We already went through a Disney Channel one, a cystic fibrosis one. We have one about relationships. Feeling like a failure, which is something I really want to talk about. My hair journey. I have very curly hair. I am half and half, so I'm like mixed. I'm African American as well as Caucasian, so black and white and black, that is what I am. We talked about Disney Channel. We're gonna be talking about Euphoria and Stranger Things, Twilight, and some other things as well, and I'm super excited for everyone to listen, to come back, to feel welcome. I'm sorry if this podcast is a little bit jumpy everywhere. Like I said, I did set a timer so I could talk about a topic for 10 minutes straight, just to have some structure, especially for my ADHD, which I do have. It's hard for me to stay on topic sometimes, which I feel like some of y'all realize that. Excuse me, sorry. Which is why I think it's very important for me to have structure and set myself a limit of 10 minutes each to talk about 4 topics. There are a couple of episodes where I actually have 5 topics instead of 4 that I would like to talk about. Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope everyone here loved the first episode of Brunch with Taquira Peoples. I know I had an amazing brunch. Like I said, this podcast comes out every Wednesday at 12:30 East Coast time. I don't know what time that is in California, but that is the timer. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. I love you guys, and have a good brunch. Mwah.